All right,
but
the bottom six I think is far more interesting. Because
okay, let's go with yours first. We start because I want to see where how because mine
all right,
mine I let's see if mine come back to haunt me. I already see one that I totally disagree with you, but anyways,
all right. So Burnley, I have Burnley going down bottom.
yeah,
My only thing is Burnley played a certain way last year. James Trafford was a big part of that. I don't know if defensively they could play the same way in the Premier League, and I don't know if they're going to score enough goals. And this is kind of this is my thread with these teams, right? It's the you score goals in the Premier League, you have a fighting chance of staying in the Premier League, and I don't know if Burnley are going to score enough goals to stay in the Premier League. So
right.
they've spent wise, and I think that some of the signings they've made are good. But again, it's the goals part of it where this is one where I'm a little bit like I can safely say I think Burnley will go down. Um, sorry, Dad. I know my dad's got a soft spot for Brentford. But as I've said before, look, Brentford have sold all their best players. Their coach, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. This is in the reserves waiting for a move to somewhere. Assumingly he's going to end up at Newcastle. My problem here is purely and simply Embuemo is at United. This is probably going to end up at Newcastle. Your coach that's kept you there is at Spurs. Your midfield general that controlled the team and controlled the environment is at Arsenal. They've added Henderson. They added Kelleher, who's a really good goalkeeper. I just don't think they're going to score the
Better
same
than
amount of goals.
Sanchez.
Yeah, he's absolutely way better than Sanchez. But my grand's probably better than Sanchez. But at this point, I just don't see them scoring enough goals, right? And I think
Uh,
that's
That's fair.
that's the
That's
issue.
fair. That's fair.
Um, the next one, oh my God, this I know when I asked you your picks, you were like tortured. Um, Wolves for me again. I just think they keep letting players leave, and I just don't see enough. And I think this is one of those. I like Wolves. I like what they've done in the Premier League since they've been back, and the last thing. But last year they flirted with relegation for a long, long, long time. Pereira came in, did a great job, and really kind of got them around. But I think he got them going when everybody else was just that bad in the Premier League that came up last year. I just think that might be a step too far. And you know, again, I think if you really kind of asked me, I think Leeds were probably the third team to get relegated. But I think I don't know why. I just like Leeds in the Premier League, so I'm just kind of more hoping they're going to end up in 17th. I don't know. I just think it's one of those historic English clubs, and that maybe I'm a sucker for it. It's the same as Sunderland. I love an absolute time weird derby. I love the Newcastle Sunderland games. They're a punch up. I love those old school games, and I like what Sunderland's done, right? And I know people are all like comparing them to Forest buying and spending money, but you know what? They're having a crack, and I hope, I generally do hope they stay up for just having a fight and try.
Yep.
And I think Fulham. I don't. I said this to you the other day, like when we were chatting backwards and forward on WhatsApp the other day. What are Fulham doing? Like, I think the first manager gone will probably be Marco Silva, and I don't think he'll be sacked. I think he's just going to walk. Like, they don't seem to be doing it. They're after the guy, the Brazilian guy called Kevin, which still is the best name ever. I just don't know what they're doing. Like, what are they doing? I don't really see. I was even today. I was looking like, come on, Fulham. What are you doing? What have you done? Nothing. Like nothing. Like it's like we're treading water. Like I just don't understand what they're doing. Like so I just think they're gonna end up in there. And if they lose Marco Silva, they could be in real trouble. Like I generally do think that. I think
Well,
he's the glue, right?
the key is Does he walk mid-season if the team, or do they
I don't think he
fire him?
walked
That's
mid-season. I think he might walk week 3. If they get pummeled the first couple of games and they don't give him players and give him money to get some players over the line,
could
if
be
you
they
look
could
at
come to it.
Sunderland's business, you look at Leeds' business, you look at Brentford's business, you look at Burnley's, they're like they're all
Yeah,
aggressive, and I just
way more aggressive than Fulham, definitely.
and Fulham's just like I don't know, just going through the motions of a preseason.
I think what I think you're going to see happening, because there's still a lot of teams that are sellers, and you're going to see a lot of these lower bottom teams will be biting, whether they're loan deals or whether they're buy deals. You'll see a few players like, didn't Ben Doak got sold today from Liverpool. Um, who's he going to? I can't
Bournemouth.
even remember. Fulham, right?
No, I think he's going to Bournemouth, isn't he?
Bournemouth.
Yeah, he went to
I
Bournemouth.
can't even remember. Either way, you're going to start to see things like that happening. So we'll see what happens. Let's take a look at mine, because mine, there's a few of the similar teams in there. So we both agreed Burnley's going down.
Yeah.
I guess neither of us have. For me,
We
it's
both have Wolves. We have both have Wolves in that spot going down as well. So that's why,
all
yeah,
right.
Burnley down, Wolves down. I think the only difference is you drop Leeds in there,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
And I'll
Sunderland.
apologize.
You
I'm
switched out
gonna,
with West Ham.
yeah, I'm gonna apologize from now to all the Leeds fans, because I actually want Leeds to stay up. I believe they belong in the Premier League. I'm not sure what this if their signings will are. Like I said, it's hard to gauge teams coming up from the championship, even when they are aggressive, because we've seen teams be aggressive and get it wrong, right?
Ipswich.
And that's my only concern, and that's my only worry when it comes to promoted teams. It would be nice to start to see a shift in the balance, where you're not seeing three up, three down. Maybe one or two stay up and one go down. So that's kind of would be more of a preference for me. And everybody knows the team I'd much rather see in one of the bottom three positions. Unfortunately, no matter how much I'd like to see them there, they're not going to be there. Right. So these are the teams that I consider. So Burnley in the bottom, Leeds, like I said, if you guys can prove me wrong, I'll be happy. Wolves, I pretty much agree with you. I just what have they done again this offseason? And they, like a lot of other teams, have lost their best players. Shout out to Wolves for the way you're going to honor Diego Jota with that banner. That's a sick banner, but um, I think your time in the Premier League might be done, at least for now. Um, I think Sunderland, again, they've been, of all the teams coming up, the three of them, they've, I think, been the most aggressive. And some of their signings I actually do like, and that's where I think, like, if they can gel as a team, they might be able to, like I said, be able to stay up. West Ham, I just don't think Graham Potter is the right, like, with the player. First of all, I haven't seen him add enough so far in this offseason, or much of anything at all. And I just don't know if the players that he has, fit into his style of play. So,
Yeah, it doesn't help. Paqueta said he might want to look for a move elsewhere today, which
right.
2 days before the start of
Throw
the
that,
season.
right. Because
Really?
now that he's back, he's like, you know what? Looking around the locker room, like, yeah, I want out. Right. Um, and then Brentford, like I said, they're in that battle simply because when you don't have an attack like you've had in the previous few years, you don't, and you don't, at the moment, you haven't replaced them. Throw in the coaching staff issues, you're probably going to struggle. But who knows, right? Weirder things have happened, right? Where, like, for all we know, this coach somehow finds a way to make it work, right? Maybe the staff he brought in around him is intelligent enough and experienced enough to help guide him as a fresh, this is your first full on coaching role. You were uh um what is it, a spot kick specialist, or a free kick specialist,
Yeah,
something like
setting
that,
specialist. Yeah.
right? So you never know. Sometimes some people are just meant to be head coaches. They have that natural skill, right? So only time will tell. I know a lot of people have him as probably the first coach being fired, but you never know. Where do things have happened? So that's my 6. Like I said, Leeds fans, if I'm wrong, I'll be happy. That's it. So thanks again for watching, everybody. As usual, make sure you hit that like button. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. That's it for us on the 6 Yard Line podcast. I'm Sean.
Thanks for
That's
watching,
Noel.
guys.
Have a good night.